Hey, Senator Flake, you're strong right now. I hear you well, but
Okay.
I know you're on your way to Yuma today, and you've got some appointments to get around and see the folks. And in fact, I think you're going to come into the supervisors where we can just grill you on things we don't have yet.
Well, we always like to do that. That's where I get the best feedback about what's going on in Yuma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll go to the Marine Corps Air Station. We'll get a briefing there. We'll also have a GOP fundraiser tonight.
Well,
So look forward to that.
and that's what I understand. And I know Mel and I were talking about that this morning on whether or not we wanted to go have dinner with you. We both definitely want to.
That'd be great to have you there.
Okay. Now the session is over right now. I guess you get some freedom from Washington for a few months.
Yeah, just for a couple of days.
Just for a couple of days?
That's on Monday. Yeah, this is just a 1 week break to allow us to get around the state. So we'll be back. The busiest time, frankly, in Congress is June and typically July, while we're doing appropriations bills. Because the conventions are a little early this year, we'll get out mid-July through Labor Day, but till then it'll be pretty fast and furious, hopefully.
Now, will you be going to Cleveland? I know this is a big election year, and
You know, I have no official role there. I probably won't be there.
Okay.
I'll probably be around the state. I know Senator McCain has mentioned he's going to be campaigning. I'll likely be helping him and some other candidates.
well, and that makes perfect sense. I'm thinking about going because I think it's going to be a heck of a show. I think this Trump guy has got show business in his background.
Well, he said he wanted to make it more, showbiz-like, so we will see.
Now, and I know there's been a lot of attention paid to the races that's gone on, the Republican race, the Democrat race, and you can't help because that's your job. You're in politics. You pay attention to that. There's got to be a majority of people disappointed because there were 17 running and only one is in the lead right now. Are we going to be able to pull the party together?
You know, I don't know. I think that a lot of that depends, as Paul Ryan did yesterday. It depends on Donald Trump.
Right.
He's taken some positions during the campaign that are going to make it very difficult for a lot of Republicans to support him. It's difficult for me to support some of the positions he's taken.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that he may pull back from some of those positions as well.
Well, and that seems to be the history of things. I mean, once we get past this point where a decision's been made, generally there starts to be some healing. We'll see how much of it happens. Don't know.
You're right, Russ. Typically in a general election, it's a little different, different styles and different, issues are really prioritized, and so we'll see. We'll see how he goes from here.
Well, Senator, people obviously this election cycle made something very clear in that they're tired of business as usual because let me tell you, the people that are getting votes, Bernie Sanders, and Trump, have nothing to do with politics as usual. And what does that do to people like yourself in politics? What do you see and what do you look at when you hear that message?
Well, there is a tremendous amount of frustration, justifiably so, at Congress and in Washington in general. It's interesting, though, a lot of expectations are out there about what a Republican Congress can do, for example, that are simply unrealistic. And unfortunately, a lot of those are fostered and put forward by Republican politicians in Washington. For example, that we could repeal every word of Obamacare
Right.
while the president's still in office. The Constitution says he has a veto, and he's already used it. So I think there are a lot of unrealistic expectations about what you can do when you have a president who stands pretty much against what you're trying to do in a number of areas. So, and I think that leads to a lot of frustration. So I think people are angry.
They are angry, and of course now with Instagram and texting and Facebook, they can be angry pretty instantly. That's pretty nice.
They sure can. Social media is great in terms of getting a message out quickly.
Yeah.
But it also, if people are opposed to your message or your platform, you know it instantly.
Well, and another message that's getting out there, and we're, social media is worldwide, and I guess the message has gotten out that now's the time to invade our border and come across because we're getting a big surge right now. And this problem doesn't seem to be going away. Is there anything we can do now while Obama's in power?
Well, this is one of the big concerns is that they'll be deported back. And there are signs that the Justice Department is pulling back from that program. And I can tell you, it doesn't take the smugglers and others very long to realize that that's happened.
Right.
It's instantaneous, as you said. And so I think that that's leading to an increase in border crossing in areas that we've had good control of before.
Well, I can tell you it's frustrating our Border Patrol, and these guys are out there doing the hard work, but their hands are tied, and they don't have people running from them. They have people running up to them because they don't mind being taken into custody because they know, but the people being taken into custody, nothing's going to happen. They're going to be given a citation and walk away.
Yeah, in some cases, we have a lot of crossers now who are Cuban. And
Yes.
Because of the Cuban Adjustment Act, then they're given a different program. They can declare asylum, any one of them, for any reason, and be on a path to citizenship pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So there are a number of reasons where we're getting an increase. That's one of them. But I'm anxious to hear from the Border Patrol today.
Part of our, your trip to Yuma, you can't not talk about agriculture, and agriculture is a big deal. And they're dealing with immigration in a different way, a frustration of getting legitimate, vetted people over here. It needs to be updated. And I know that's something that you've looked at to champion. And is there any chance of doing anything with the helping of our agricultural labor force?
In this environment, it's very difficult to move any kind of immigration reform through. We need, particularly with Arizona, we have different needs than some other states. We
Right.
need a bigger, more robust commuter program to allow individuals to come across and work and return home quickly. And Yuma has always been in need of a bigger program there. But we need to update across the board on our immigration, whether it's high-skilled, H-1B visas, or farm workers under H-1B or H-2B.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need some gap in between to be filled. That's why I've introduced a willing worker, willing employer visa program. And I hope to see it move, but I can tell you in this environment it's tough.
Well, and I know it's been talked about that it's tough to just do one that just takes care of those little issues. Some people just want a complete, comprehensive program of everything, and they don't want to piecemeal this agricultural issue, which is unfortunate.
Well, unfortunately, we Republicans don't control the White House, and we don't have 60 votes in the Senate. So you've got to reach across the aisle to move legislation, and sometimes a comprehensive piece of legislation where you get some and you give some
Right.
is the only way to do it. We tried that. We passed it in the Senate. We couldn't get it out of the House. And so you're right. I'll move it comprehensive, big. I'll move it small, piecemeal. I'll do whatever as long as we can move some meaningful immigration reform, because we in Arizona bear the consequences more than virtually any other state.
Senator Flake, I checked the rain gauge this morning. It was dry, and I guess we still have some water issues in the state of Arizona. And I know you've been a champion of fixing our forest, which actually could improve our watersheds. Are we moving anywhere on that? I mean, I know there's been a frustration of people that want to do the work, can't get the bidding done, can't get past the bureaucracy.
That's something that Senator McCain and I work on daily in Washington. We have scheduled meetings routinely with Chief Tidwell, the Forest Service, to get them to move more quickly to release more acreage for treatment. If we don't do it faster than we're doing it, we're going to lose the rest of our forest. We've lost 20% of it for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
So that's something you're right, we work on all the time. That really affects Arizona, particularly Maricopa County and the larger cities that rely on the watershed up north. Yuma relies almost exclusively on Colorado River water in terms of agriculture. That's a huge problem as well. As you know, we're very close to having what they call a shortage declaration.
Right.
When Lake Mead gets below a certain level, and that will affect Arizona agriculture immediately. And so one thing that we're trying to do, Senator McCain and I, is there are a lot of water users in Arizona who are willing to forego or conserve and leave some of that water behind the dam to avoid a shortage declaration.
Right.
But we've got to get assurances that when that water it's released to those who put it there or left it there, not disappeared down some canal in California.
Is there
Still, we've got to get those assurances, so that's what we're really working on.
is there any movement towards desalination? And
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I mean every option is being considered. That one is it's really expensive, but it's going to. I can see that that's certainly in our future.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, Canada's burning right now. I think Canada has just evacuated 8,000 people because apparently they've got the same issues we've got with forest out of control.
A lot of it, we're certainly going to have a tough season here in Arizona unless we get some more moisture.
Yeah. Well, I will see you, and I know you're going to be around and be visiting our Marine base. You're going to be visiting some agriculture. And I know you're going to be visiting the Yuma County as well as probably the city and other things. But I look forward to seeing you at dinner tonight, sir.
Well, we'll see you then, Russ.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. Bye-bye.